Welcome to the Find You Fridays readings with Lorene. That would be me. How are you today? I am happy to be here. It is now officially season 2 of Find You Fridays. So that's os dos, it's rua, it is I don't know, ni. How many languages do I know where I can count to 2? So I'm very, very happy to be here with you all today. We're in the bright yellow background because I was like, let's celebrate. You know, sure, it's coming up to the middle of winter for us here in the Southern Hemisphere, but do you know what? It doesn't matter. I am just absolutely thrilled to be here with you all and enjoying Find You Fridays. So let's get busy sharing out all of this yumminess for you all. Okay, let's just jump into oh goodness, my computer. I was a teeny tiny bit late because my computer decided it would be really fun to do a restart right now, like about half an hour before our session started. So I was like, okay, let's just see how we go. That's okay. So just a reminder that all donations that you give to get an extended reading, that you give to receive an extended reading, they do get passed forward. And they get passed forward to other worthy organizations out there in the world. And it could be an organization, it could be a person, it could be somebody here in Australia, it could be someone overseas. We have donated towards a beautiful individual who was doing some really beautiful work in New Zealand for other people who were in those flood-affected areas of New Zealand in the Hawke's Bay, which is a bit near and dear to my heart, because if I ever moved back to New Zealand, it would be to the Hawke's Bay. So for me, that was definitely a special one for me to be able to contribute to. And, you know, just with other people around the world who require help every now and then, or organizations. Now, most beautiful thing happened this week. I don't normally, what do you call it? I don't normally pick up random phone calls. Sorry, thinking 3 things at once on my phone, especially if I'm at work. And what actually happened this week is I happened to pick up the phone call because it was in our area code number. And I thought, hey, you know, that's okay. We'll give it a go this time. And it was actually a call from the Hutt Street Centre, which if you were here at the end of last month, sorry, you will know that that was who we donated to this last month. And they were incredibly grateful for your guys' donations. And even though she had not a skerrick of a skerrick of an idea of what a psychic reading was or anything like that, she was still just so grateful for what you all have done for that beautiful organization, and the fact that you all did that was you guys. That was you guys through me, but it was you guys. And that just my heart in a big way. And I'm just so incredibly grateful for all of you beautiful souls who have donated over the month. And obviously now we're in the new month, so come the end of June, we will have some other yummy donations to be doing should you guys choose to ask for an extended reading. So yeah, the gift to me is that you all show up for me on this podcast, and that you allow me to connect with you. You allow me to be a part of your life on a Friday night, and that to me is a huge, huge gift. I am fortunate enough that I now have, when I first started this podcast a year ago, I didn't have a formal job. I was basically just scraping by, doing renovations for other people, and picking up lawn mowing, and just hustling to get the bills paid. And it was not always easy. I didn't always have enough to pay for food, and on those weeks, magically, food would be gifted to me, whether I asked for it or not, or it was really such a beautiful creative time for me last year. And I'm just so grateful now that I get to give forward. I get to gift forward the gifts that you bestow through me by asking for these extended readings. So please feel free to click on the PayPal Me link and jump the queue as such, and grab your spot so that you too can have an extended reading and feel good about having your money go forward for someone else who may require it a little more than yourself. All right, so we're just getting to and just popping these shares out there, getting Sharon. Not Sharon, sharing. Oh dear. I went to go and get my tea tonight before I came in. That's another reason why I was slightly 2 minutes late. So for those of you who weren't on time totally, you wouldn't have noticed. But I went to go and get my rosehip and hibiscus tea, and I've run out. Oh no. So I'm going to have to see if my local Foodland has got any more. So I had to settle for cranberry and pomegranate instead. Sad face. I feel like it's going squish, squish, darling, squish, squish. Oh dear. Alrighty. So let me just jump over to our Facebook group, because I know sometimes if you all are putting comments in the group, I can't always see that apparently. So let me just quickly jump over there, make sure nobody's commented over there. Right, everything looks pretty good there too. Brillianto. All right. So thank you for coming in to watch. Thank you for being here. I am because, hi Catherine. So because today is a celebration, celebrate good times, come on. I am going to be gifting again a session at the end of tonight's show. So I highly recommend that you be active in the chat today. Say hello, get up there and involved in the chat so I know that you're watching. And if you would like, hi Edwina, if you would like to go in the chance to draw, the chance to win in the draw for a chance to win, if I can get my words out today, a session, a 60-minute online session with me, because after tomorrow I won't be doing any in-person body work for a little bit, because the background of this room is going to potentially change a little because we're moving. We are moving. And this also means that any of my international peeps can also be in the draw to win. So let's have a look. We've got Catherine. We have Edwina. We have Lynn, which is Barry. Cool. Well done. So yes, you've got to stay tuned though, because if you're not here at the end, then you're gonna be a bit buggered. All right, so as we come in, let me get rid of these names. Okay. So then the odds are very, very good right now for you beautiful three ladies. Oh dear. Oh yeah, you see, you gotta be in it to win it, you know. Oh goodness, something excellent, most excellent that has happened here in the area that I live in is that they've just opened up a new sushi bar. So excited. And it's like really not far from where I live, and it's so nice to have a new sushi bar place to go to. I almost had a very late lunch there, and I was just like, if I have a late lunch, then I won't want dinner, and then, you know, Matt might be a bit hungry. So I thought I better not. Keep the man happy, you know. So no, instead I had I made up a kind of like a Italian Mexican fusion paella instead, which was super yummy. Okay, so I actually don't think. No, I can't. See, in here, I can't actually share my screen, I don't think. So, I can. So when it comes time, I'm going to let the wheel of names pick it for us. So the names will be coming in as we go along with the show tonight. So if you would like to be in to win an online session with me, make sure you say hi throughout the session, throughout our evening. That is so good. All right, so let's have a look at the world. Let's have a look and see what's happening in the world. And apart from the big fat note on today that says happy anniversary, Find You Fridays. Congratulations to me. Let's see. We are in the waning moon at the moment. We are coming into the halfway point of that. So the waning moon is where we're slowing down. We're coming down to that reflective place. And I was actually listening to the amazing podcast, Turns Out She's a Witch. And they were talking at one point about the divine tool of the week on one of the episodes. Don't ask me which one. I've listened to so many in the last couple of days. And it's not a new podcast to me. It's just one that pops up every now and then for me. And then I won't listen to it for weeks and weeks. And then suddenly it'll come back up. And they were talking about the moon and how getting your hair cut at certain times and what that means or what's best for a haircut. And it's kind of interesting because this information actually came off the Schwarzkopf website. So if you've got a haircut that is and you're like a shorter haircut that you don't necessarily want it to grow very fast, having it cut around this time of the moon, so the waning moon, so when it's coming into the dark moon, that is actually the best time for those kinds of haircuts. After the new moon and going through to the full moon is a lot of growth and regeneration. So what happens if you get your hair cut on a waxing moon where it's coming up, your hair's going to grow much, much faster. So something to be aware of. I've not tested this theory out, but I'm curious to know for sure whether it's totally true. So yeah, there we go. I know that a lot of people have, and a lot of cultures actually have, some interesting points of views around and belief systems around the moon and the cycles of the moon. I do recall back in my younger years, my mum's old woman's weeklies and things like that, and they would have, and even the Reader's Digest, I think, had how to garden by the moon. And I know, obviously, as a fisherman, the fishermen, they were very aware of the moon because the moon affects the tides. So they needed to know what the moon was doing as well. So given that we are very beautiful infinite beings, and the stars and planets and things do have an impact on us, that's my belief anyway. I don't know what you guys believe. What do you guys believe? Do you believe that the planets and stuff have any effect on you, or do you think, nah, that's all poppycock? I'd be curious to know, actually, because I, to be honest, used to sit on the fence with that for many, 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 many years, all through my 20s, coming into my 30s. I was like, yeah, my 20s, I'm like, don't be silly. Those things are a long way away. Like, how on earth could they have any effect on Earth, let alone little old me? Like, I'm just so insignificant. And then as I grew in my comprehension and awareness of how intricately we are all linked together, I became more open to the idea that, yes, even good old Pluto, way out there, the furthest one away, that has been taken out of our solar system as a planet, and then maybe put back and then taken out again. I don't know where it's sitting right now. Even that one can, excuse me, have an effect on us. That was me, my energies going, yes, exactly. Shifting some stuff there. All right. So, where is my moon book? Here. Oh my goodness. I have literally so many books right next to me right now. So many. Right. How did you go with the new moon wishes? The full moon wishes. Actually, we did do the new moon wishes, didn't we? New moon wishes ritual. We can revisit that again next week. So I might actually bring that up now. So remembering that the new moon wishes is for next week is it's happening on like the Saturday, Sunday. So this is where you get to write down your intentions. You get to like pop them onto a little bit of paper. So you can, perhaps this week is a really good week to gather some little bits and pieces for this little craft project. And given that I'm going to be going through my crafting cupboard, which is behind me, I'll be able to do this as well. And what we do is, on these little beautiful pieces of paper, you get some paper or card, some ribbons, and using a pencil, write one word on each card and of what you would wish to receive over the next month. And then you tie them up to a tree or a bush or something like that, preferably in your garden. And or if you haven't got a garden, if you live in an apartment building or you live in a caravan and you don't really have any spot like that to do outside, you can tie them up in places which are maybe on the awning of your caravan if you're not going to be moving it for a little while, or you could put it on like a little string, if you imagine, in the window where they can still get exposed to all of the natural light and stuff like that. Be creative about where you put them. But when you do hang them up, you hang them up in the when you hang them up with the intention of receiving whatever it is that you've put on those cards. So if you're looking at receiving, I don't know, a new job, a promotion, a lover, more money, or things maybe that aren't quite so materialistic. So maybe you wish to receive more happiness, more peace, more love. Those are things that you write on those cards, and you hang them up and let them be exposed to the weather and the fairies and the elementals, and with the ask of bringing those things to you with total ease. And then when you feel that your wishes are finally fully weathered, bring them indoors and safely burn the paper to release any remaining messages to the moon as you begin this new cycle of intention. Okay, so that's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool ritual. I like that one. So have that in your mind for this week. Let's see what this lovely moon has for us today. Oh, maybe we'll talk about that. So okay, so we're halfway through now. So they talk about this one being the last third quarter of the waning moon. So freely let go of anything that is not a positive force in your life that obstructs your goals. Your action for this week is to stop negative thoughts, let go of hurtful habits, remove obstacles or negative people from your path. In this time of rest and reflection, take some me time, which is what all relationships require. Affirmation is I am enough. One of my dear podcast guests, Kiara Kisu, has that tattooed on her. I am enough. She uses it in a lot of her branding for her somatic work and things like that, that she does with people. She's amazing. Beautiful, beautiful being. It's like, how did we get so lucky? So yeah, the moon is I find it, the more I have become aware of how the moon affects me and how I am responding to the moon, the more potent and powerful it has become in my life. And more so because I'm more aware of it, so I'm more intentional with those energies as well. So at the moment, while a lot of people are going into slow down, reflection space right now, and for the week before the new moon, the new moon. Kira, she's been on my Tasty Tuesdays podcast a couple of times. The most recent one was coming into November, where she was talking about Christmas and how she copes with like just stuff that tips and tools that we can use to cope with difficult family situations at that time. So let me just check what date specifically she was on. She was on the 6th of December. She was on episode 27. I told you I got lots of stuff at my fingertips right now. So yes, if you have a look on the YouTube, you'll find it a lot easier than what you do if you're on Facebook. So on YouTube, if you just type and Lorene Hughes, you'll find my YouTube channel. And from there, you can find the playlist that has Tasty Tuesdays on it. And you'll find Kira is, like I said, that was episode 27. And she was also on before that. I haven't written that down as such because that was already saved. So yeah, been lots of administration behind the scenes work happening in the last week or so. But yeah, if you go through, you'll see her. And she's an absolute gem of a woman. And yeah, super, super cool. All right. So as I was saying about the moon, as it's coming into a new moon, I find my energy actually, not new moon, my, new moon. As the new moon comes in, my energy levels actually go up a lot. So this is actually the perfect time for me to be packing my house because I'm moving. Do I know where yet? No, but that's okay. Still got to prepare. So this is the really perfect time. I require less sleep. The sleep that I do get is really like deep sleep. And I find that I've just got so much time to do everything that I wish to do and more. And it's so super cool. I love this time of the month. Whereas with a full moon, on the other hand, time slows down incredibly. And I find sometimes it's even a little bit of a struggle for me to get the things done. Like I find my time management, I have to be really on point with my time management around a full moon, because I run late, I run over all the time, and it's really irritating to me. I don't like being late and, taking too long to do things. So I find it really fascinating how the moon does that. And often when it's not like I go, oh, it's coming up a full moon, so I know I'm going to slow down. Often I don't even think about it, and it's not until a little bit later in the day I go, gosh, why is everything so hard today? And why does it feel like it's taking 15 times longer for me to do something than on other weeks, especially if I'm on the same jobs of a week to week? It's like that's when I really notice it. It's like then I look at the moon and I was like, oh, gotcha. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's have a look at our full week reading. Yes, if you wish to listen to some really, really, really awesome podcasts around, magical practices and different lines of historical knowledge and inquiry and stuff like that, Turns Out She's a Witch is an incredible podcast for that. So highly, highly, highly recommend it. And of course, right now for me, given that I'm on a witchy woo series for my podcast on Tasty Tuesdays, it's very relevant to me right now. And I'm just so excited by the guests that we have lined up for this series for sure. Okay, so having a look at our week-long 7-day reading for the collective, coming from the 10th of June through to the 16th of June. Let us find out what is the best way to work with these energies that are coming up, leading into that new moon energy, because that's very relevant. And I'm so excited because that big reno job that I've been doing for 13 weeks, I finished that up for my part anyway, last Sunday. So happy days. And that has freed me up exponentially this weekend to be able to, do sessions for people. I have 3 sessions this weekend. So I had one today that was an online session. I've got an in-person, the last one in this beautiful room, for an in-person session tomorrow and another online session tomorrow. So how did I get so lucky? Hey, it's like people just knew. I hadn't even announced that was happening, and they just knew, and they started booking in. So cool. Interesting. Good. Let's see how that works through. So, of course, guys, whenever I'm yawning, it's often a sign that we're moving a hell of a lot of energy. So what I'd like you to do right now is take a big deep breath in and breathing out. I'd like you to place your hands on your tummy and take another big deep breath in and out. I'd like you to do something a little bit different right now. I'd like you to bring your shoulders up as close as you can to your ears. Bring them up really, 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 really tight. Really tight. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. Keep breathing. And now let your shoulders down. Give them a roll backwards. Make your neck go one way, your head go one way, and then to the other side. Come back to the center, go back and forwards. Now take another big deep breath in and out. Bringing up Mother Earth energy all the way through your body. Bringing down Father Sky all the way through your body. Beautiful. Cool. And now I'm going to ask you all to grab your sense of awareness and expand that out. We've done this many times before, but for the new ones at the back rows, can you please take your sense of awareness and expand it out like a big, big bubble up into the sky and down into the earth? Expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the country that you're in, out beyond the size of the planet you're in, expanding out your awareness out beyond the size of the solar system and the galaxies and the universes. Good work. And now focusing on your body, once again, grab your sense of allowance. And I'd like you to expand that out. Expand it out in a big bubble beyond the size of the building that you're in, up into the sky, down into the earth, expanding out your allowance out beyond the size of the planet, beyond the size of the solar system and the galaxies and the universes, and now expanding out your allowance out beyond your awareness. Take a big deep breath in. You might feel like yawning right now, and that's totally okay if you do. And let that all out. Let all of that stress from the day, from the week, just leave your body with your outwards breath. And now I'd like you to go, we're going to do this slightly differently now. So normally we just sit way up. So this is in reflection to something I listened to today, where we have this lovely addiction to being always wanting to ascend higher and higher and higher. But there's actually a beautiful process of descent as well, which is taking you through the different levels and layers of your shadow work. And with that, there's an honoring process with that too. So I'd like you to just close your eyes for a moment and take a big deep breath in. This is going to be just a very gentle connection. Slowly letting that breath out. Keep really focused on your breath. And now I'd like you to become very, very aware of your body, of the cells of your body. Keep going down until you see the molecules of your body. Keep zooming in, going down, and now seeing at the atomic level of the molecules of your body. So you are literally seeing the protons and the neutrons of every single molecule, wherever you're choosing to have your focus. You can now zoom in a bit further into the space between the nuclei. And now as you peer into the space between the nuclei, I invite you to go a little bit further than that. Your awareness of the infinite within. This is where you will also find that connection to your divine healing intelligence, your inner goddess. This is where you will find much of your shadow work is done in this area and further. We're only sort of sitting at the top edges of it. And I invite you to become more comfortable with this aspect of you as well as the higher aspects that we expanded out aspects that we often play with. I invite you to become more comfortable with the deeper, unknown, darker shadow work sides of you too, because this side of you, this part of you, is just as important as the rest. This will allow you to become even more connected at a far greater, deeper level to your spiritual journey. There are various goddesses that work down in this area. I'm not going to go into them now, but they are pretty jolly amazing. And now I invite you to take a big deep breath out and in, out. And now tapping into Mother Earth, bringing her energy all the way up through your body. And breathe Father Sky energy all the way down. And so it is. Beautiful. Thank you, everybody. All right, so the reading for this next week, for the 10th of June through to the 16th of June, the best way for us to, as a collective, work with these energies that are coming up. So first of all, we've got this beautiful card here, which says transform your relationships, which is move on and move up, which is really interesting given what I just did, because this card is red. And red obviously is to do with our first base chakra, or our first chakra, or our base chakra. And red is a very potent, powerful color. It is both life-giving, in that our blood is red. It is also the thing that if we don't have enough of it, we die. It can also mean stop, obviously. It can be a stop sign in the move on. It can also, there are so many different ways that this card could be playing out this week. So this card here I find really interesting. And also as we're moving through into the new moon energies, the spaces of becoming aware of what you do require to let go of, and to reflect on how well you've done in the last month. It's intention setting time, so very much looking at how are you functioning in your relationships, how are you working with these energies to the best of your abilities, and what things are you going to endeavor to move on with throughout this next week. The next card we've got is accept loving support, let yourself be held. So my first words that pop into my head straight away is sisterhood. What support, given that I think we're all women in the podcast tonight at the moment, but for you men too, who's in your coven? Who have you got around you that is allowing you to be all of you without any judgment? And this is where I'm going with this one, okay? As beautiful, potent, incredible beings that we are, sometimes we can get a little bit too caught up in doing everything for everyone else and forgetting that we also require support ourselves. Whether it be because we're going through a rough time, whether it be because we are going through relationship stuff, whether it be because we're just going through some extra spiritual growth things. It doesn't matter what the circumstances are. This card is encouraging you to reach out to those around you to seek support and to be held. Because one of the biggest things that we require when we're going through stuff is not to have somebody to fix our problems for us. It's just to have somebody who's willing to listen. And quite often, as you speak your problem, you will come up with your very own solutions anyway. That's the gift of how women have worked for a very long time. This is why we talked with our gal pals, if you like, about our stuff. Because as we speak, we get that rawness out. We get through the muck. We get through the stuff that's really not relevant to us and the situation. And if we're lucky, we've actually got somebody who has our back and gives us a bit of a kick up the butt when we require it. Along with this beautiful card, we have the next one, which is express your hidden feelings, celebrate your light. So, of course, as we're moving into this beautiful new moon energy, we do have a chance to work with that forward movement of energy, that new moon energy, that sort of the supportiveness of that, to actually give yourself some support in your throat chakra. So it could even be that you require a little bit of throat chakra support so that you can get that beautiful message out that you've been wishing to say without too much trouble. Okay. Okay. This is a very interesting card to come in, given what we have seen already. Yeah. And it says, use your anger. Inner fire sparks outer action. So have you ever noticed that when you get angry, shit happens? Like as in good stuff, things move fast. Have you ever noticed that? That is where you're basically taking that energy of anger and turning it into something that is positive and helping you to move forward in your life. Even if it's something as practical as you're angry, so you clean. And doing that cleaning, what you're actually doing is allowing the anger to move through your body so it's not getting stuck. Tick. Fantastic self-care, number one. Number two, you're actually helping to clear your space, which therefore clears your head. Tick, number two. And number three, it's helping you to take the edge off of the reactiveness of whatever it is that you are going through at that point, and allowing you to get to the core of why you might be angry in the first place. And the anger might actually be coming from something that's completely unrelated to what you think you're angry about. It could be that it's activated you in some kind of way into some past child trauma that is now coming out to be healed. There is so much of that happening right now. And this time is a huge time for healing, as I have mentioned pretty much every single episode for the last 50-something episodes. This time is of great healing, and within that, you also will be activated a lot into more healing. Because the world we're going into doesn't require any of that crap. None of it. It's not important in this new space that we're going into. that we've already touched on. Many of us have already had our little fingers and toes in there. And we're just like, oh. And for those of you who have moved and touched into the new space that we're going into, let that be an inspiration for you to come and deal with this shadow work stuff, to deal with these child trauma stuff, to deal with those past relationships on an energetic sense. Very important. So let this anger, be pissed off. Allow that to go through to completion, and don't get stuck there, and allow yourself to be activated in a way that is in a forward motion, that allows you to create and more of the energy of the life that you truly desire. Perfect. So our second to last card here is let go of comparison. Embrace the unique you. I absolutely love this to be the end of this little card reading for the next week. Most of the time when we get angry, it's because we're comparing ourselves, i.e. judging ourselves, and not allowing ourselves to be us. We're comparing ourselves to our mothers or our fathers or our brothers or our sisters or our friends or society or whatever. But at the end of the day, the only person that you actually have to compare yourself with is you. We all have, and this is something that's come out of my podcast this week with Vicky Morales. We all have a vast array of gifts and talents. We went into a lovely discussion between hedge witches and green witches. So a green witch was basically somebody who grew the herbs, who was very deeply connected to Mother Earth and nature, and really, spoke to the plants and it created amazing magic with the plant world. And within that, obviously, it's nature, it's the sun, it's the rain, it's the earth, it's the fire, it's the moon, it's the stars. That's very much a hedge witch. And a hedge witch will create, potions and things like that too. That's a hedge witch. A green witch will also create potions and things. A hedge witch, on the other hand, uses the product that the green witch has grown. If we didn't have any green witches out there, we wouldn't have hedge witches. If we didn't have hedge witches, then the hedge witch would find things very, very difficult for what they require to do. And for some of us who are more of a psychic witch, if we didn't have people creating these sorts of tools for us to use, we would have a much, much more difficult time. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop comparing yourself. Your gifts and talents are unique to you, and they are just as valuable as anybody else. I've had that philosophy not just from Tuesday, but since my early mid-20s, when I was working for a building supplies company, and the cleaner who only worked 2 times a week, and she was feeling a bit down because she didn't feel like she was necessarily being acknowledged in the same way the rest of us was. And I was like, at the end of the day, know that, number one, I appreciate you because if you didn't do your job, then we would have to do it. And I don't think any of us really want to scrub toilets, to be honest. Ironically, now that's what I do. But basically, because of what her talent was in keeping things clean and tidy, she allowed us to function in our jobs even easier. So please don't compare yourself. Focus on your gifts and talents. Focus on, bragging them. Brag your gifts and talents. Acknowledge them, even if it's only to yourself in your diary at night. Oh my God, I did a fucking amazing thing today. I smiled at someone with my biggest, hugest smile, and they smiled back, and it made them feel great, and it made me feel great. Maybe you're just the bestest smiler in the world, and that's your talent. That's cool, because that's your magic. And that's how you manage to be able to nourish and nurture more love in the world. Acknowledge your gifts every single freaking day. Acknowledge the magic that you be. We require you in this world. This world would not be as complete without you in it. Whoever is required to hear this today, please hear it. The last card that we got from our yummy cards, which I thought was very interesting, and then I flipped over the other cards and now went, yeah, okay, that now makes more sense, is support. So going back to card number 2, it's support. So we basically kind of started the reading and we've ended the reading. Find your support. Reach out to each other. Say that you love each other. There are so many people passing at the moment. I was listening to one of those podcast episodes where they were talking to a death doula. And she's also a marriage celebrant and a funeral celebrant and a counselor. And she's just an all-around amazing woman. And at that point when she was doing her podcast episode, she was doing how many funerals a week? Even for her, and she lives in a smaller area, she was still doing like a couple of funerals a week. Now, if you just multiply that by all of the other, funeral celebrants and funeral directors and all of that sort of stuff, that's a lot right now. So please tell those you love that you love them. Don't wait another day. Doesn't matter, even if it's like at 2:00 in the morning and you've woken up and you've gone, gosh, I really love blah, blah, blah. They're on your mind. Message them. Don't put it off. And I say this because there's a dear friend of mine, and she's been on my mind for nearly 2 weeks straight. And I kept going because I've just been so fucking busy. And she kept popping into my mind, and I'm going, oh yes, I must contact them. And finally this week we got to have a bit of a chat. And I found out that she's been going through some really fucking hard stuff. And it was even to a point where my awareness was pinging me in other ways, going, hey, you really need a haircut. If you get a haircut, then you can go visit your friend afterwards. Trying to bargain with me to make me contact my friend. Shouldn't have to do that. So I'll be going down to see her on Sunday. But it just... Please tell those that you love them. If they pop into your mind, please message them. Obviously not while you're driving, but as soon as you can, please message them and let them know. Because your beautiful message might be just what they require at that moment. Whew. And that's our message for this week. didn't expect to go there today, but there you go. What can you do? Alrighty, so let me just check the emails. Beautiful. So, Julie, I haven't put you on the name spinner thing yet. The odds are still pretty good for everybody. Thanks, darlings. Yeah. Big, big hugs to all of you too. I appreciate you very, very much. Appreciate you sitting here with me. I had a really, really funny client today, this week, cleaning client. And she's such a spunky Italian lady, and she just cracked me up so much. And like, the thing is that even though she's also had some big health issues this last 12 months, that has made it very difficult for her to take care of her home, hence the reason why I was there to clean the windows, that she would normally have been doing once every 6 months, and they haven't been done in a year. And she was incredibly grateful that I was there. And she was so sweet and so kind, and she also had a massive potty mouth. And she was just so funny. And I was just like, how did I get so lucky to have this kind of work where I get to connect with such a wide variety of incredible people? But again, her health stuff is pretty bad. And yet she was still finding ways to bring joy into other people's lives. You know, even down to, you know, health aids that she refuses to use because she, in her words, is not so fucking dumb as to have to shit in a bucket. Imagine that with a European accent. Amazing. All right. So, seeing as we haven't got anybody donating at present, which is absolutely fine, what we will do is righty-ho, first number between 1 and 88. Pop it in the chat below, my friends, and we will do some off-the-cuff readings, quick readings with That's right. So pick a number, first number that pops into your little brain, between 1 and 88. And I will do for you a quick little reading. Trying to think of other funny little stories I've had this week. Oh, I've had so many. Did I tell you all about this? I don't think I would have. No, because that happened on Saturday. So last week I ended up going shopping, and I picked up this incredible Oracle Practical Magic collection from Big W, and it is by Serene Connelly. with artwork by Selena Finnick. And this book, this weed collection here is made by a beautiful Australian author. Everybody's beautiful in my eyes. So what it is, if I show you, we'll do a funky little unboxing for you. Isn't that artwork just incredible? Like, seriously. Isn't it amazing? So beautiful. And so what you get is a little card, like a piece of card, a little stand, so that you, when you pick out a card to work with, you can place it in here and you can have it sitting in front of you for like a week or whatever. You get a little protective piece of paper. You get this guidebook, which is absolutely huge. Right? Incredible guidebook. And in this guidebook, there is all sorts of stuff on each of the cards. And also, she goes into meditations for connecting with Mother Earth, or the magic of Mother Earth, talking about with nature, doing rituals, purifying the ritual bath recipe, and talk about invocations and creating a sacred circle and all that sort of stuff. Also how to do various readings and card layouts of different types of readings, 5-card reading, past, present, future reading. And I know I'm going through it backwards, but that's okay. But one of the parts that I really loved about this book was she's actually got the Wheel of the Year, but it's done with Southern Hemisphere and Northern Hemisphere. So she's taken into account both, which I think is just amazing. And then I think when I saw that and then I found out she was Australian, I was like, oh, duh. So right now, of course, we're going to be heading into our Yule or winter time, right? Winter solstice, which will be around the 21st, 22nd of June. So that's coming up soon. Not quite yet, but we're getting there. And when that does come round, I'll refer back to this book. But I really love it how she's got both the southern and the northern. Obviously, in the northern hemisphere, that's around December 21st, 22nd. That's when they have their Yule. So obviously for the northern hemisphere at the moment, they'll be coming around, there we go, the Lithia, which is their summer solstice, will be coming up soon. Okay, so it's just so cool. And she goes into like definitions of what Lithia is, or Litha, sorry. And for the Yule, which she talks about the Christmas tree and things like that, which is just so cool. And I was just like, wow, like it's just such an absolutely full condominium. And if you're into really the witchy stuff, you also know that this is essentially, in witchy terms, a grimoire. It's a spell book of all sorts of things, of how to work with the moon, of how to work with nature, of how to work with this yourself, how to work with different goddesses and things in there. It's a grimoire. But we call it a guidebook these days because we don't want to be too witchy, right? The cards themselves are really, really cool. So interestingly, when I picked up these cards, we were just coming into, so I picked them up on Saturday the 3rd of June, and Saturday the 4th of June was our full moon. And I shuffled the cards, I went through and I did my ritual of how I connect with my cards. And then I asked them to show me which card they would like me to focus on for the next day or so. And ironically, we got this card. Let's see if I can show you properly, which is Lunar Strength. Oh, I laughed. I just laughed. I was like, oh my God, Lunar Strength. Are you kidding me? So let me pull one of these cards for us all now and see what card would this deck like us to focus on for the next week. Yeah, as a collective, let's have a look at that, shall we? And we'll have a little bit of story time from the Practical Magic Grimoire. I like being able to have words where I can roll my R's. Ah, thank you for sharing a number. Okay, cool. I shall come back to that. Yay. Thank you, Lynn. All right. So, Lynn, are you sure you weren't just picking up on this card here? Okay, 5, 6, 7. Because the card that I got for us all to focus on for the next week is this beautiful card. Let's see if we can pull it into focus here somehow. I hate working in mirror. It's funny. Physical Strength Protector. So she looks a bit funky, doesn't she? She's a pretty awesome character. All right. So if I can hopefully hold that there steady for you all, and you can just draw on this energy while I go and do a little bit of story time for you. Your body is your temple. Care for it, respect it, and nurture it out of love, not punishment, and become the best version of you. Good health and well-being are the most precious possessions of all, yet for so many, they are the lowest priority and the first thing sacrificed when life gets busy. Adding some movement to your day will give you more energy, lower your risk of illness and disease, improve your sleep, help you live longer, and improve your quality of life. Being strong physically also makes you stronger emotionally and mentally, so it's easier to deal with stress, anxiety, and depression. Stretching your physical limits challenges your mind as well as your body and enhances your willpower, motivation, discipline, and determination, which will carry over into all aspects of your life. You'll learn a lot about yourself and realize you are far stronger, braver, and more capable than you ever imagined possible. When this card comes to you, it is a message to prioritize your health and well-being, to nourish your body with good nutrition and strengthen it with movement. This is not about exercising because you hate your body, but because you love it. Being active is a reward, not a punishment. It is a way to honor and care for your physical self out of respect for the hard work that it does for you. There is nothing more important or more sacred than looking after yourself emotionally and physically. Physical activity can and should be part of your spiritual practice. It quiets the busyness of your brain and fosters connection between your mind, body, and heart. Whichever way you choose to move your body, it'll help you focus, clear the stresses of the day, flood you with feel-good endorphins. Getting stronger physically will help you feel more empowered emotionally, and committing to the fitness goals will assist you in achieving your work goals and vice versa. It's also a wonderful way to give yourself some precious alone time that you deserve to take. It's not selfish to practice self-care, for how can you look after others and reach your full potential without prioritizing your own health? Moving your body is not about looking a certain way or reaching a certain number. It's about living longer and being able to enjoy your best possible life. And your health and well-being become even more important as you age. Those who do regular strength training have less falls, less physical and mental deterioration, and are able to remain independent for longer. If you haven't been physically active for a while, be patient and take it gradually. Don't push yourself too far too fast. You will slowly get stronger, healthier, and fitter, day by day, week by week. But it is not a competition. Just start where you are and do what you're able to do with what you have now. Aim to be the best that you can be. Don't worry about what anyone else is doing. Again, don't compare yourself. Or compare yourself to others. Literally, that's what it says next. How funny. Do what you can within the physical limitations you're dealing with. Some people can run marathons, while others may get the same sense of achievement from being able to walk up and down their hallway or jogging around the block. Don't overcomplicate it or put too much pressure on yourself. All you have to do is add a little movement every day, and whatever form of exercise you choose. You don't have to be good at it. This is not about being perfect. It's about making progress. It's about learning, growing, getting healthier, challenging yourself, and trying something new and working to achieve a goal in exercise and in life. Practical magic. So work with affirmations for physical strength. Practice positive self-talk. Don't be angry at yourself or your body for not being able to do something yet. Praise yourself for making a start and encourage yourself to continue. Rather than seeing exercise as a punishment, view it as a reward. You deserve the me time, the stress relief, and the extra energy and health benefits that come from it. Exercise is not about hating your body. It's about loving it, nurturing it, and celebrating all that it can do. Incorporate affirmations to help you show up for your workouts. Leave little reminders on your mirror and write them in your diary. Share them with your friends and get one emblazoned on a workout top, or say them out loud when you wake up. I am stronger than I know. I am worthy of good health. I love myself enough to take care of myself. I am transforming my mind and body. I have the willpower to get through this workout. I am strong and powerful. I am proud of myself for exercising regularly. I am transforming my body into my temple. I am disciplined. I am becoming stronger both mentally and physically. I love my body. You can also use affirmations while you exercise. I am strong. I can do this. I will not quit. I can do hard things. I am becoming the best version of myself. My muscles are strong and resilient. I'm getting stronger every day. I am capable of achieving any goal I set. I am strong, confident, and motivated. I am releasing toxins every time I sweat. I am full of vitality and good health. I am completely in tune with my body. I am grateful my body allows me to do the things I want to do and to keep fit. While you're exercising, breathe in something you wish to have more of on each inhale, and exhale something you wish to release. I breathe in strength. I breathe out doubt. I breathe in self-love. I breathe out judgment. I inhale calm. I exhale chaos. I draw in energy. I release toxic thoughts. Suit your own affirmations to your situation and your goals. Harness the power of your mind to boost the strength and power of your body. If you're still struggling, think of the reason for wanting to be stronger, fitter, healthier, and focus on that. When you have a why for what you're doing, it's so much easier to endure the how. In addition to lowering your risk of illness and improving your quality of life, maybe you wish to be able to play with your kids or grandkids, join a friend on a hiking adventure, feel more at ease in your skin, be stronger physically to help you cope with an emotional challenge, or maintain your independence for as long as you can as you get older. And remember, while it's not always going to be easy, it will always be worth it. If you're so inclined, you can invoke the invoke warrior goddesses Diana and Artemis for support and inspiration. Their qualities include courage, confidence, and physical and emotional strength. Both goddesses are admired for their athletic grace, power, endurance, and skill with bow and arrow, and represent the archetype of the free-spirited warrior maidens popular today: Wonder Woman, Xena, Katniss Everdeen, Supergirl, Leia Organa, Rey Skywalker, White Canary, and Black Widow, for example. Artemis's name is derived from a word meaning healthy, vigorous, and uninjured, and she is believed to embody those strengths herself, as well as granting strength and health to others. All right, so that's a bit of a story time. There is a bit more, but basically, even if, like it says here, I do a quick scan, and it says, even if it's just a 15-minute or a 20-minute, a 15-minute walk or a 20-minute online workout every day. Often once you start, you'll go for longer. It's taking that first step to actually begin that is the hardest. And if you get bored easily, mix it up. Swim one day, walk another, lift weights, or do some circuit training the next. So, yeah. And another good hint is get a workout buddy, get some music playing. Yeah, there we go. Practical magic. And I picked that up at Big W, and it wasn't very expensive at all. And that is one of the things that I'm loving at the moment, is that we can pick up these really incredible and amazing tools for not very much. We don't have to break the bank these days, which is so, so nice. So nice. Alrighty. Catherine. Moon Diary. I have also got a moon goddess diary that funnily enough, actually popped back into my head today while I was out and about, that I missed working with a goddess this last 3 months, but funnily enough, Hester has been the goddess that I've ended up working with in the last month. And Hester is a really interesting goddess. She's a Greek goddess. I'm yabbering and just waiting for Catherine. Can you please put in the chat that you're there, so that then I know I can do this reading for you. So Hester is actually one of the Greek goddesses who is very, very underrated, and so underrated that most people forget that she even exists. So my first introduction to Hester was in the red tent ceremony last new moon, and she was in the doorway for my yellow chakra. And hi, Amanda. I actually turned the TV down before I came into the room, Amanda. So he could be sleeping, which is why I'm probably not hearing a lot at the moment. And if they're winning, yay! That's awesome. He's had a pretty long, hard day today, so I'm sure I'll hear all about it after I hop off of here. And yes, you're still quite welcome to donate. It's in the show notes. It's in the thingammy what's it. That would be really amazing if you did. It would be really cool to do an extended reading for someone today. So Hester, she ended up, just to keep it sort of short and sweet, with some really interesting finagling. She actually managed to work it that she agreed that she would never get married and never take on a lover. She would remain a sacred virgin her whole entire life. And she became the keeper of the hearth and home. And back in those days, in Greece, every house had at least one hearth. So they would have the cooking hearth, which would be right up against the door, like the wall where they do all their cooking and stuff. But they'd also have another hearth that was transportable, that they would do things like a little bit of, say, offerings to the gods or whatever. And okay, let's see if I can get it for you, honey. And when she made the deal that she would not get married or anything like that, it actually meant that she got to have first priority on every single offering, because she became the keeper of the hearth in the home. So whenever somebody made an offering to create, which the people of Greece did all the time, it wasn't just like at Easter and Christmas. It was basically a weekly and sometimes multiple days of the week thing that they did of creating an offering for the goddess and basically, or the gods, depending on what their thing was of that day. And she always got first portion. So essentially, out of all the gods, she actually ended up more powerful than any of them, even Zeus. And yet she was the most chill, the most humble, no, not really humble, but just very quiet, very, like, if there's all the, like, if you know Greek mythology, you also know that there was a lot of soap opera stuff that happened within all of the intermingled relationships there. And she just kept right out of it, which is why there's very, very little about her. Yet she was the goddess that came through for my healing. And initially in the red tent last month, I couldn't see some of her, like her face all the way across here was all in shadow. And I was told I couldn't deal with what I wished to deal with right at that moment, that it was something I was going to have a little bit more time for. Like, it was yes, but not right now. And when I did the float tank last weekend, that was when I got to deal with that. And she was there and she was in full, like, I could see all of her, which is why I knew exactly who I was looking for when I was going through my cards, my goddess cards. And I tell you what, let me see if I can find her for you. She was just so freaking beautiful. And we did such super, super deep work. Oh, look at that. She's right on top because I didn't put her away as such. So this beautiful depiction here is very much what I saw when I was in my healing space in the float tanks last weekend. And she's considered to be one of the oldest of the goddesses, simply because she was birthed first but was the youngest. So here's a funny one for you. So her dad had been told that his kids were going to kill him. So what he did when each of the children were born is he basically ate them. He sucked them up and ate them energetically. As a god, he was able to do, or I think he's actually a giant. And so so it wasn't, and Zeus got out of it because his mum managed to swap him out for a rock, and so his dad didn't get a chance to eat him as a baby. So when he was old enough, he actually tricked his dad to vomiting. He fed him this drink, I think it was a drink that he drank the whole lot of, and then he spent the entire night vomiting, which meant that he vomited up all the children in reverse order. So even though Hester, who was technically the firstborn, she was the last reborn, which meant that Zeus being the last born, he became the oldest of all the children. The Greek mythology, it's so cool. But yeah, she ended up being very potent in her own right and very valued. So every time, when you think about it, every time you light a candle, you're basically bringing Hester into your home. And that's something that is to be done with reverence and sacredness of who she is in your home, if that's what floats your boat. And bringing her warmth and her knowing and her smarts, she's a very smart lady, into your home in that regard, in that way, is just like so super cool. Super warm, super loving. Like, they had this philosophy that there was the town square, and the town square had a town hearth where it was like in a temple, and all the hearths of that town were all lit from that flame in the town square. And if you went to another town, you moved or whatever, you had to take the flame that was yours from there, or the coals from that original town hearth. You took some of those with you to your next place, so that you could have the blessings of Hester with you. Because if you didn't do that and the flames went out, you'd having to do a whole lot of rituals and stuff just to be able to get that. So yeah, interesting stuff. Alrighty, Catherine, let's get through these very quick readings. Okay, Catherine, you got a Christmas poem. Bright and beautiful is the season, the warm weather is here. In season we find our togs, in England they find their jackets. The sun is shining, the tree is decorated, and the children are wondering what Santa will bring this year. Yes, it has, Amanda. Thank you, darling. I heard it come through. I've got my earpiece on, in case you're all wondering, so that I could have the ding-a-dings in my ear hole, but it's not having to bother you guys. So, Catherine, what a brilliant time for you right now. You've got lots of really yummy things coming your way, reminding you to also just be really in that space of gratitude for everything that is coming your way at the moment. And even though, like, we can get a little bit stuck in what we don't have. So like in the summertime in the southern hemisphere, obviously it's our winter, and we can get a little bit grumbly because it's hot and all the rest of it. And obviously in the northern hemisphere, it can be very, very cold, and people can get a bit grumbly about that. But it's like, I remember when I went to the United States for Christmas, and I had my very first white Christmas. And it wasn't that I wasn't used to snow, because I'd had snow in New Zealand, but it was the first time I'd ever had snow at Christmas time. And I was just a bundle of joy. And I was in my 30s, and the lady that I was staying with at the time just thought I was absolutely bonkers, because I was out, bouncing around in the snow and just having a great time and making snow angels and all that sort of stuff, and bounding up the little snow mounds and things like that. And she was just being really amazed when I saw like little oak leaves lying on the snow, and they were just so freaking beautiful. Meanwhile, most people who lived there were all just rugged up against the snow, and they're what they perceived as cold, and just not seeing the beauty at all in that. And it's like, you find the same happens when we get people from the northern hemisphere down for our Christmas, and they're just absolutely gobsmacked about how beautiful it is, and having Christmas with no snow. So I would say right now, Catherine, just be really mindful of being in incredible amounts of gratitude for everything that's happening with you right now. The good, the bad, the ugly, and the awesome, because you just never know what gifts are hiding within each of those things. Hope that helps. Okay, Lynn. Loneliness is something I can't quite explain. It can hurt, make me feel out of it. It's a heavy feeling, which is inside my body. It's a part of my mind, but it is released through my heart. I go all silent. I can't explain why. I don't want to be alone again. Lynn. Lynn, what I get here from this one is there's possibly a little bit of winter blues going on for you right now, a little bit of seasonal sadness. And what I would highly recommend for you right now is much the same for Catherine. Find those spaces of gratitude for you. Tapping into Mother Earth, bringing up the unconditional love of the universe through Mother Earth, bringing that up through your body to remind you just of, and allowing that unconditional love to just spread out through every single cell and molecule of your body to remind you of just how loved you are and that you are never, ever alone. You know this. If you tap into Mother Earth and the people and like your spirit team and all of that, then you'll feel not quite so alone because they're always there for you to call on, right? Loneliness is something we have up in our minds, okay? Yeah. And I get it. When we haven't got those people around us that we valued so, so much in their physical form, it sucks when they're not there in their physical form. I totally get it. And now I would actually challenge you to have a look at all of the aspects. And this is something that comes through from Dr. John DeMartini. So here's your little bit of homework. Have a look at all of the aspects that you have valued about Barry. Okay, write them down, not now in the chat. Just do this for yourself. And have a look at where else in your life since he's been gone in this physical plane, where have you brought in those aspects in your other people around you? Okay. And then you'll realize, I challenge you to do that because you'll probably find that you've actually substituted much, if not all, of all of those things that Barry, you loved so much about Barry, in with other people coming into your world and other things and other activities and interests. Something to ponder. All right. So that's your homework or home play. Get out there and have some fun. All right. Amanda, I get so grumbly about the cold, especially grey cold. Like being born and growing up in the middle of the desert. I'm so used to cold. It's this grey that gets me in Adelaide. Try living in New Zealand in winter in the middle of a valley. There would be days and days where we wouldn't necessarily see the sun. We would get, if we saw the sun And especially at night time, if it was a clear night, we knew that we were going to get one whopper of a frost. But because where I lived, we're at the bottom of this valley, we would get a bit of fog. Fog was quite common because at the bottom of the valley was the river. And when you've got a river, you get a lot of fog. But when it wasn't foggy, it would be clear and then you get a whopper of a frost. But it was hardly ever actual snow where we were because it was warm at the bottom of the valley because of all the houses with their fires and things going. It would actually create this warmth. Super cool. All right. So I get it. The grayness. Oh dear. Edwina, are you still here, darling? -3 last night. Where were you? Goodness gracious. Cool. Lovely, 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 lovely. 54. Cold Hand South. Oh, you're in the South Island. What are you doing all the way down there? You're normally in the North Island. Yes. I used to love it though, smashing the frosty, like the ice off of the feeding troughs in the morning. That was one of our kids' jobs, so that then the animals could drink during the day, because you can guarantee if we didn't smash the ice on the drinking troughs, the animals wouldn't have any water to drink that entire day. Yeah, no, I was in the center of the North Island, just right by the mountains, that's all. All right, Edwina, you got 54, which is spring. Are you sure you're not in the Northern Hemisphere? A garden of roses blooms so bright, as does a smile at a beautiful sight. Birds singing merrily, perched in the bushes, as a stream rushes by. As the stream nearby quietly rushes. The sun shining, roses blooming, the birds singing, all creating a beautiful world. Okay, Edwina, what I'm hearing for you in this particular poem is this absolutely beautiful poem. It is spring, as you can tell, is one of my absolute favorite times of year, but I'm also hearing from this poem that it's time for you to up your game with your connection to Mother Nature and take time to look at those finer details of Mother Earth and, you know, all the parts and the pieces of the puzzle that come in to make this world a beautiful place. And the more you acknowledge that in your external world, the more you'll see it within yourself. And then like have a really deep look at all the parts and pieces of you that make you a beautiful part of this world. Acknowledge the beauty that you be. And I'm not talking about like fake bullshit beauty shit. I'm talking about the magic that you be. All the things that make you incredibly potent and all the things that make you just be the incredible ingredients together that make you you. Because the more that we can reflect on us as being amazing, incredible, potent, beautiful beings and as part of the collective, the easier it will be for you to receive that from other people as well. And the receiving part is often the part we struggle the most with. So have a look at that from Mother Nature, apply it to yourself, and take that time do even some mirror work, looking into your eyes in the mirror, and tell yourself 10 times, I love you. See how you go with that. All right, gorgeous. Okay. Cool. I think that was all for now. Amanda. What you don't know, because you came in to join us a bit later on, was that I currently have a wheel of names spinner happening at the moment. And Catherine, Edwina, Lynn / Barry, Julie, and now yourself are all on the list to win a free session, because today is episode 1 of season 2. I've been doing this podcast for 1 whole year. So we're up to year number 2. Happy days. You're welcome, Edwina. I hope that helps. All right. So, Amanda, can you please pop into the chat what you would like me to have a look at, please, for your extended reading? And thank you so much for contributing to the donation pot. Lovely. See who would like to play. Yeah, it does get cold up in the hills in Adelaide. We do occasionally get a little smattering of snow up there in the winter time, but I think it's probably been many, many, many years since Adelaide General down where I am has ever seen snow. We did get some decent hail this week though, which basically means that the rain came in at a really awesome angle and started leaking in through underneath my door of my kitchen. Happy days. Amanda, what's up, darling? Tell me. What would you like me to have a look at, please? Please. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you. That's why your guys' names are all going on the wheel. So I think I'll be doing. Okay. Cool. Thank you for that very specific and not specific kind of a way of a question. Well done. Good work. No, I'm happy with that first one. Just don't know that these cards are going to be the ones to help us with that one. No, they're not. Who wants to answer Amanda's question, please? Okay, thank you. Don't be apologizing. I asked. You delivered. So while I'm doing this, who What are you all up to for the weekend? What are you up to? Oh, I love you too, Amanda. You didn't read my post. Oh dear. And thank you. See what happens there when you say I love you to someone and you let them know how much you mean to them, how much they mean to you. Get that round the right way. Did a Willy Wonka, didn't I? Take that, reverse it. Okay, so even though this came out last, so first of all, the goddess that is asking to be working with you for this next little while, just remind me to, oh gosh, this is so hard to, I wonder if that will help. Yep. So Shikana is the goddess that's asking to come and work with you for the next little while. It's not just a day or two, it's a little while. So you're encouraged to go and find out a lot more about her. Remind me, just send me a message. Actually, I'll leave the card out so I remember, and I'll send you the guidebook stuff. Okay. So yeah, a lot of base chakra stuff, but she is to do with the divine presence, the presence of the divine feminine. And at the center of everything, there is light, and I am light. Okay, so there is an indication there that you are requiring to bring your divine feminine up and through a little bit more into the situation. And she's going to support you with that. And that is a beautiful segue into the rest of this reading. So the first card that we've got is compassion. Okay, so compassion is soften your heart with respect to the situation and all the people involved, including yourself. And that last part of including yourself is very, very loud. And just being very aware of where you're beating yourself up a lot more than what is required. Too much self-criticism. Be more expanded out. Use those tools that I've taught you around expanding out your awareness, expanding out your allowance. Back up at the start-ish of the show, we actually did a slightly different meditation and of expanding out, but also expanding within. So after this show's ended, go back and have a look at that too. That would be really, really helpful for you right now to bring in those elements of compassion for you, so that you're not being that pebble at the bottom of the river. You're being able to be like the cloud or the solar system, just watching and observing the truth of what's actually going on. The next card that we've got is, although it says angel therapy, I'm actually getting it's to do with your spirit team. Give your cares and worries to us angels and allow us to take your burdens. So there's a lot of stuff here that is going on that is past triggering stuff that is basically being activated right now, which is making you second guess what is going on for you and what these options are. So it's time for you to let that shit go. And if you find it easier to, do whatever tools that you require, but it's like there are so many that you can use. Like, even if it's a case of going back and just, like, one of my friends does this incredible thing, which we've spoken about many times, of when she feels stuff coming up, like any emotion that comes up, she looks at that and goes, okay, when did I first feel this emotion? And it'll quite often go back to when she was a little one, right? So then she literally has a conversation with the little version of herself, and to find out why they are feeling that way. And then has that moment of, like, conscious adult now talking with little self back then, so that they can come to some kind of resolution as to why things are actually not as bad as what little person thinks they are. Quite often those little parts of us are like, that inner child work is really, really important to do. It's part of our shadow work. And because you think about it, if the whole world was run by 3-year-olds, then, and 3 and 4-year-olds, where would we be? And unfortunately, I think a lot of the world has been run by 3 and 4-year-olds, because we haven't put a lot of focus on doing this inner child work, which is what is coming up to be done right now. So within that, you as, like, your little you, and you as the adult, can actually pull these energies out of you. You can pull the emotions out of you, between you, and you can bounce them up to the angels, bounce them up to the spirit team. You can even see them as energies, or to go into the soil, if you prefer, to go down to be transmuted into goodness for the planet. So all of the stuff that is coming up for you, all these things that are making you second guess yourself, have a look, do a little bit of digging to go back and see where that's coming from. Okay? Because yes, you have looked at everything. This is what I'm seeing at the moment. Yes, you have considered everything. In fact, you've considered everything so much that it's not making sense anymore. Hence the reason why you're asking this question. And from that, it's like, okay, you need to just take a step back, have a big breath, and look at where these activation points are coming from. Okay. The next card that we've got is relationship harmony. So we angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved right now. So like I said, this is sort of mitering on to the previous card of looking at where these troublesome emotions are coming from, and these things that are making you kind of go into a little bit of monkey mind around them, where you're going, shouldn't I, have I checked my I's and crossed my T's, and it's like all the and you're way up here, you're not in here, you're not using your divine feminine, you're not using your other intuitive tools. What you're using is your brain, your mind, and your mind can only go from what it's already experienced. So you have to take that right back to the beginning, to any potential little baby traumas, and soothe that. Because then you can drop out of your mind, you can come back into your third eye, you can come back into your heart, you can come back into your feminine, your divine feminine and your divine masculine in balance, and you'll know instantly, for sure. Okay. Monkey mind is really hard to get over when you are so logical. I know. This is one of the things that you are here to learn this time. How to balance that logic with your divine feminine and your divine intuition. Hence the reason why you have to work with Shekinah this next month or so. Okay, so you have to work with this beautiful goddess for a little bit. And she will help support you to know how to do that with a lot more ease. Blanket. Scooching around my butt. And this is how I know that you've already looked at everything. Victory! You asked for the question. You asked the question, have you taken the right things into consideration? Yes, you have. You have absolutely looked at everything from a 50 bajillion different ways. And now it's time to let it go. Okay? Let go of the monkey mind. Look at the gifts. Look at what else is possible here for you. Okay? So your prayers have been heard and answered. Have faith. I think that's a pretty bloody clear sign if you ask me. So let's have a quick look at your yummy, yummy card. Your yummy card is joyous. So if you were to apply joy, a joyousness, to this situation, what would that feel like? How would that translate for you? And what you're coming up with in your logical, thinky, stinky mind, does that match the energy of the life that you truly desire? Or would trusting your heart and trusting your divine feminine and your divine masculine and balance be more matching of the energy of the life that you truly desire? I wonder who. Do. 50 billion and one, just put glasses on. Seeing with more clarity. I like it. And a little bit less beer. Oh dear. Thank you so much for contributing to the donation fund. I am very, very grateful for you, because I'm not sure if you realize, I think you do, you've been floating around enough to know that we actually donate towards all the funds for the month go towards a worthy cause or somebody who is in, dire requirements for it. And we've done a lot of good work this last 8 months. And just for those of you who didn't catch my comment or my good news forward earlier, this week we got a call from I'm sure he's thrilled. We got a call from Hutt Street Centre, whose donations for May went to, and they were incredibly grateful, because the work that they do to help the homeless people and keeping them fed and clothed and all the other amazing things that they do, our donations went towards that. And I am so happy that, number one, I've never had to use those services, but I'm also very aware that there could have been time in my life, not too back 13 odd years ago, nearly 14 years ago, where I could have been in the situation where I had to use those services. So it is something that's a little bit dear to my heart. So thank you, Amanda, for your handy donation. Hi, Lynn. Nice to see you. Nice to see you joining us. All right. So, Lynn and Amanda, would you like to do a quick gratitude reading? So pick a number between 1 and 88. Put that in the chat. Lynn Cease and Amanda, please do that now, and I'll give you a quick gratitude book reading. First number, not necessarily your favorite number. 77. Between 1 and 88. Good work. Let's see how you go with 77. Yeah. We are doing Hut Street at work, and I'm so proud that we can contribute. Yeah, me too. Me too. Definitely. And it was really nice to actually receive a personal phone calls thanking us for what we had done. That was pretty cool. All right, Lynn. I hope that wasn't just your favorite number and that it was an actually number that popped into your head. So, patience, my girl. If he is supposed to be yours, then he will be. You have made the connection over distance already. He loves you with all of his heart, soul, and body. He will do almost anything to talk and be with you. So he has some things he needs to sort out. You know, this year is about patience. This is another instance, another lesson. Breathe. Feel the love and the warmth because it is true. Trust it. Trust in yourself. Trust what has been said before is true. So what I'm seeing and hearing for you, Lynn, in this particular poem is it's not necessarily about a lover for you. It is more about becoming very aware of trusting you and having patience with that. I know how easy it is to want everything yesterday. I'm an Aries and I have a horse in my Chinese star sign. So everything for me has to happen yesterday. And that's part of why this poem came to be, because in not being very patient, I can make some really poor choices, and I'm not always trusting my intuition, which goes, don't fucking go there. Don't do it. Because it's like, no, I want this now. In fact, I wanted it yesterday, right? So be very, very aware of how you're disregarding, or where you might be disregarding your inner knowing, your truth, your intuition, and the desire to create or have something quickly. It doesn't have to be. All right. There's whatever it is that you desire most is coming. And if you distract yourself with too many things just because they're there, you're going to find yourself moving a little bit on a more wobbly path or a wonky path, a tiki tour towards the end goal rather than straight. Okay. So trust your intuition, to trust your divine knowing, trust your gut, and make sure you have things in alignment, like being nice and expanded out, like we talk about on this show, and bringing through the allowance of your knowing as well, which is also your trust, and honoring you and your beautiful body. Okay. Your beautiful body is a sacred temple, and it is time to really honor that too. Okay. Patience. Not everything is going to happen very quickly, as much as we would like to. Alrighty, Lynn, thank you for your little one there. You're welcome. I really hate 67, but it's what came to me. You're funny. Thank you for trusting your awareness, because this is perfect. Sticks and rubber. My muscles are so tight, like a tourniquet over my shoulders. I can't release it. Everything pulling together, pain radiating outwards. It's exhausting. I can't concentrate. I want to relax, but my mind won't let me. Too much going on. My body is in survival mode, ready for the next thing, like a rubber band, all wound up with nowhere to go. I am just so tired. Right. So I wondered why during our meditation this morning, at the start of the show, you're going to love it. It was obviously for you. There's a point there where we actually bring our shoulders right up to our ears and hold them there really, really tight, bringing our shoulder blades together and then allowing them to relax down. I wondered why we did that. I now know why. Thank you very much for showing up. So please go back. Once the show's ended, please go back and watch that part. It's just before I do the full week reading. I can't tell you the timestamp. I don't know. But you'll see it. So yeah, it's time to let this go. In fact, I'm just remembering something that the beautiful face yoga coach said to do that might actually help you with your stinky minky mind. So what you do is you get your knuckles like that, right? You bring them up onto your forehead so your little finger kind of goes over your eyebrow, and then you gently pull this all the way down to like your ears, and you repeat. And what you'll find is that your brain, this is what I noticed for me when I did it anyway, start to relax. And it's almost like energetically you're pulling open your third eye and you're clearing it like windscreen wipers over your third eye to allow your third eye to take a little bit more center stage instead of your stinky mind, which is sitting in behind it, putting all of its crap over the top. Do that. It's lots of fun. Lots of fun. Alrighty, so Lynn, let me just pop your name up on our little wheel of fortune. Okay. I've got all sorts of things happening in front of me now. Okay. You get rid of that. All right. Now, I've never done this before, so this is going to be fun. So, for those of you who are here, thank you for holding out. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for coming through and playing with us. Thank you for supporting Find You Fridays for the last 12 months. I am incredibly grateful for every single one of you. So let's see if I can share my screen. Okay. Yep. Let's do the entire screen. Okay. All right. Whoa. That's cool. It's a screen within a screen with a screen. Wow, that's pretty amazing. All right. So let's see how we go. Who's going to win this 1 hour session? There we go. It's Lynn C. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. It was worth coming in right at the end. Well done, Lindsay. Oh, and for the other Lynn, Barry Lynn. Oh my goodness, you stayed up all night just for that. I am so grateful for you, darling. So, Lynn, please send me a PM and get in touch with me, and we will sort you out a 1 hour session. May not be until next weekend, but let's sort something out, okay? So, yeah, congratulations. Yay! And so, yeah, that's what happens for every now and then. I just like to do little giveaways. So congratulations. All right, my darlings, I am ready to hit the hay, as they say. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for being a part of this incredible community. I am so, so grateful for you. Obviously, for those of you who are in the Find You Fridays community, I am incredibly grateful for you too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for, if you're not in the community page, it's not hugely busy over there just yet. There's been a hell of a lot going on in my world, but I do try to do at least one post midweek, just as a little like thought provoker, if you like. And moving forward, once I've moved house and stuff, things will start picking up a lot more in that group. But it's a great way to keep in touch with this particular podcast, and I'm looking forward to seeing what we do over the next 12 months. It's been quite the journey, that is for sure. So, aw, I appreciate you too. Thank you, Amanda. And this is why I do what I do. I wouldn't care if I had to sit here and talk for 2 hours with just one of you. 1 or 50, I don't care. It's or more. I love being able to connect with you all. I really do. And being able to share some magic and some goodness. So what's coming up in the world? So next week on Tasty Tuesdays, which is the intuitive community page, not intuitive, the community connection page, that's where we get to learn all sorts of cool stuff. And we get to dive into some deep areas sometimes. And this week, or this series, we're talking about witchy woo practices. So last week, or rather this week, we got to speak with Vicky Morales. She kicked off season 2. And next week, I have Kate Fallon, who is from Schmeck Studio. I'm sure I've Shikmet Studio. I'm sure she's probably going to correct my pronunciation, but it's she leans very much with a lot of the Egyptian goddesses and magical aspects of the Egyptians. So I am really looking forward to having a chat with her on Tuesday. That's at 7 p.m. Adelaide time. And she's really dynamic. She has been through the ringer in her life, and she was on our podcast a few months back talking about her spiritual journey. So it's neat to have her back to talk about spiritual practices, or rather witchy woo practices, instead of her journey into spirituality. So that's what's coming up. Obviously, then I'll still be here with you guys on Friday for Find You Fridays. And in the meantime, please take care of yourself. Be aware of your relationship stuff over the next week. Be aware of taking care of you. And I adore you guys. I truly, truly do. So until next week, please get out there, do something tasty for yourself, do something soft and nurturing for you. Keep that feminine and that masculine, divine feminine, divine masculine in balance. I really don't care what you do. You could just go for a walk around the block, and that would be amazing. And admire all the flowers and plants, and just admire and be grateful, if you like. It can be as simple as that. Even just stepping outside your door for a couple of minutes and just breathing in hopefully nice fresh air and being grateful that you can stand and that you can be present in this beautiful, glorious, incredible life that we all have. So until next time, be bold, be brave, be you, my beautiful friends. Bye-bye.